I'm going to leave that alone and ask y'all the question, will the candidate's spouses getting involved like she just did?
What?
That's what it says.
Whoopi Goldberg has officially cut all ties with The View in the wake of a stunning revelation by none other than Melania Trump. The once unshakable bond between Goldberg and the iconic daytime talk show has been shattered, leaving fans and critics alike reeling. What could Melania have possibly revealed to ignite such a dramatic fallout? Whispers of betrayal, long-held secrets, and behind-the-scenes feuds swirl in the air as Goldberg's departure marks the end of an era. The truth promises to be more explosive than anyone could have imagined. The start of the frenzy. The buzz around daytime television often focuses on hot-button topics, but rarely does it revolve around an epic clash involving a former First Lady. Things got wild when word spread that Melania Trump had reached a boiling point with the co-hosts of The View. For years, The View's panel dissected her every move, her fashion statements, her body language, and her attitude during White House events. Each co-host saw her in a different light, and their discussions weren't gentle. Some watchers felt it was playful banter, while others found it relentless. This ongoing rumble reached an explosive moment when rumors emerged that Melania Trump was ready to take legal action. Online chatter claimed she hired powerful attorneys and demanded a massive payout from the daytime talk show for certain remarks and insinuations. The sheer size of the supposed lawsuit made it stand out from other celebrity squabbles. Many fans were stunned. They had witnessed The View offer sharp opinions in the past, but nobody expected a possible nine-figure fight. Conversations in chat rooms and on social media quickly flared up. Users asked if the show had indeed stepped too far. Some viewers insisted The View did nothing beyond usual commentary, while hardcore supporters of Melania believed the co-hosts were downright vicious, painting her as cold or uninterested in her role. The same watchers felt the show sold a warped view of her personal life, her marriage, and her opinions on big issues. Melania had mostly kept her opinions private. She typically avoided direct confrontations in front of cameras. That mystique gave The View lots of room to guess her thoughts, which led to heated segments about her intentions. The more The View discussed her, the more angles emerged. Some argued she was unhappy, others that she was quietly shaping her own brand, and some speculated she might flee the marriage once the cameras were off. It was a swirling pot of theories. Amid this sea of claims, the possibility of a major legal showdown made everything feel heavier. The rumor that Melania wanted to stand up against the daytime giant signaled that something was about to change. Fans who loved The View braced themselves, while Melania's supporters cheered that she was pushing back. Nobody knew how real this fight might get, but the tension skyrocketed. The core of their clashes. Tension between The View and Melania might seem sudden to some, but it had roots that stretched back to the early days of the Trump political era. Once Donald Trump stepped onto the stage as a serious candidate, the show dove right into analyzing him and everyone around him. Melania's reserved style plus her limited public remarks made her a puzzle, a perfect topic for a panel wanting to dig into fresh gossip. The co-hosts on The View each had a distinct approach. Some teased Melania's accent and fashion choices, painting them in a comedic light. Others went deeper, suggesting she was more cunning or more distant than she let on. Certain watchers loved the raw honesty, but others felt it stepped over a line. They said it was no longer about mild critiques. It was about tearing down a woman who never seemed eager to be a celebrity. Over time, the show repeated rumors about Melania's private life. From her alleged disinterest in certain White House duties to her rumored frustration with her husband. Whenever a fresh photo or video surfaced of Melania appearing to avoid holding Donald's hand, the co-hosts latched onto the moment. They interpreted it as further proof she couldn't stand him. The chatter fed a narrative that she might be trapped in an unhappy situation. It made for intriguing television, but also sparked strong reactions from viewers. When the show touched on personal topics like her stance on reproductive rights or her thoughts on certain political policies, the tone grew sharper. Some co-hosts hinted that she secretly disagreed with her husband, using her stoic expressions as a clue. Fans at home either nodded in approval or rolled their eyes, thinking the speculation had no real proof. Critics felt it was dangerous to guess so boldly without proper facts. All this fueled friction. People who adored Melania saw a vicious cycle, with the panel recycling the same negative ideas. Those who disliked her championed The View for being unfiltered. The co-hosts likely knew they were ruffling feathers. Still, the ratings soared every time these clashes made news. Nobody realized it might land them in potential legal waters. Sunny Hostin's role in the storm. Among the rotating chairs on The View, Sunny Hostin grabbed headlines for her bold commentary. She spoke with conviction and didn't practice much restraint when analyzing political figures. Many viewers admired her candor, while critics believed she pushed boundaries. In the Melania situation, rumors swirled that she became a central target of any alleged legal threat because of her detailed on-air remarks. Sunny's background in law gave her an edge. She could explain what certain legal terms meant, break down a situation with detail, and offer her personal conclusions with flair. When it came to Melania, she often brought serious arguments to the forefront. She had theories on how Melania truly felt behind the scenes. She questioned the former First Lady's choices, publicly wondering if she was sincere. This style drew heavy praise from fans who liked strong women speaking their minds, but it also sparked outrage from viewers who felt she turned guesswork into harsh conclusions. Sunny's commentary on Melania's marriage became a hot button. She implied that Melania hated the attention, disliked certain family decisions, and probably only kept up appearances for the sake of image. This fed an entire subculture online, with people dissecting every little hand gesture or side glance from Melania. Some watchers said Sunny was just giving voice to what half the world thought. Others felt she was inventing tales without hard evidence, basically encouraging a harmful portrayal of somebody who rarely defended herself in public. That tension soared when the rumor of a giant lawsuit picked up steam. Online chatter targeted Sunny, claiming she'd said the worst things about Melania. People combed through old episodes, searching for statements that might be labeled as defamation. They grabbed fragments of her monologues, listing them as proof that the show's remarks were more than harmless opinions. It was messy and intense, as watchers argued over whether Sunny was just doing her job or if she'd gone rogue by spreading mean speculation. Behind the scenes, the idea that Sunny might be singled out as the main culprit could have stirred tension among the co-hosts. If one person caught the blame, the rest might feel exposed too. The public never saw those closed-door conversations, but rumors said the staff was on edge, unsure who might be roped into trouble. Social media frenzy and fan wars. As soon as the rumor of Melania's possible legal move circulated, social media became unhinged. Users latched onto every fresh hint or insider claim, turning random notes into grand conspiracies. Some accounts posted threads suggesting that the entire show had a personal vendetta, pointing to old moments where a co-host rolled her eyes or scoffed at Melania's name. Others defended The View, painting the show as a platform that called out powerful people who otherwise got a free pass. Fan wars escalated, with hashtags that combined Melania's name, The View, or Sunny Hostin. Many users tossed around speculation about how the lawsuit might remove The View from the air. Others predicted it would do nothing because the show's brand was too strong to be taken down. People who disliked Melania used the rumor to say she simply couldn't handle public teasing. Meanwhile, Trump supporters saw it as a chance for her to stand up for her dignity. In these fan battles, folks analyzed every clip for evidence. They pointed to jokes about Melania's Christmas decor, her interactions with staff at official events, and her stance on bullying. They said that these jokes weren't just comedic bits, but big attempts at making her look incompetent or fake. The other side said it was all valid commentary because she was a big public figure who chose to be in the spotlight the minute she stood beside her husband during political rallies. While these arguments raged, some tried to maintain balance. They said it was fine for The View to critique a public figure, but maybe they had taken it too far if they consistently implied she hated her husband. Then again, a few insisted Melania was simply waiting for a reason to pounce, suggesting she never liked how her personal space was overanalyzed on TV. Meanwhile, the rumor itself fed on the hype, making the drama even bigger. Inside, the chaos at The View. Shows like The View thrive on debate, even heated arguments, but rumors suggested that the set grew tense once the legal threat circulated. The producers and hosts understood how big the situation might get if Melania really served them legal papers. Staff members might have been quietly told to keep certain topics off limits, or to at least handle them with care. People speculated that a shift took place in the show's tone. Perhaps the co-hosts avoided direct attacks on Melania for a while, focusing on other political controversies instead. Or maybe they continued, but with slightly less edge. Observers watched episodes back to back, trying to detect signs of hesitation. Some fans claimed they noticed forced smiles and awkward transitions whenever Melania's name came up, as if the hosts felt uneasy. Despite the swirling talk, the show pushed forward with fresh drama, because the format revolved around discussing daily events. They had to address political stories, celebrity news, and whatever popped in the headlines. If Melania did something that caught media interest, viewers wanted the view's reaction. So the panel couldn't just ignore her. That left everyone guessing if the producers told them to walk on eggshells or to keep going as usual. Insiders posted on social platforms, claiming they had heard the production team was bracing for a worst-case scenario. They worried about potential depositions, where each host might have to explain their statements under oath. They weren't sure if the show's lawyers had enough to prove the remarks fell under free speech, rather than harmful defamation. Meanwhile, fans of The View, or fans of Melania, watched from the sidelines, waiting for any sign of an official lawsuit confirmation. All this frenzy put a giant question mark over The View's future. Nobody believed it would end the show, but any settlement or forced apology would be shocking. Some staff might have feared losing their jobs if the network decided the best course was to clamp down on the commentary. It was a war of nerves, with each side seemingly ready for a drawn-out face-off. Cast attitudes and snapbacks. Each co-host brings a distinct vibe to The View. Some are more comedic, some are more political, and some blend both. When news broke about the rumored lawsuit, regular watchers tried to gauge each host's attitude. That included Sunny Hostin, Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, Sarah Haynes, and others who had sat on the panel over the years. Among them, Joy Behar had a long history of comedic jabs at prominent figures. Whoopi Goldberg often tried to moderate conflicts, but still chimed in with her own strong stances. People looked closely at Joy and Whoopi to see if they would either defend or distance themselves from Sunny's bigger leaps. Fans expected to see if the cast would unify or blame each other if Melania's lawyers pressed them hard. Behind the scenes, there could have been real friction. Some co-hosts probably wanted to avoid tension, while others saw it as a chance to stand up for the show's approach. The possibility of losing big money or facing legal consequences can sour relationships in any workplace. Those with fewer sensational remarks on record might have felt more relaxed. The ones who made bolder statements about Melania might have been glued to their phones, waiting for updates from the network's legal team. All the while, watchers noted that Joy continued to unleash strong opinions on hot topics, including political stories linked to Donald Trump. Whoopi occasionally tried to steer the discussion to less risky ground, but the entire show is built on raw conversation. Host after host tried to keep the audience engaged, aware that viewers tune in precisely because the show is unpredictable. As all this unfolded, social media kept up a steady hum. Each time a co-host made any reference to Melania, fans clipped the footage and reposted it with comments like, "This is going to land them in court." Others argued that nothing in these remarks was new, and that the show's brand was always to challenge big personalities. Observers expected further conflict as the rumor grew, placing more pressure on the panel to either double down or concede. Melania's reputation at stake. While The View's hosts had something to lose if the lawsuit gained traction, Melania also risked her own image by going after a daytime talk show. Some felt it could make her seem overly sensitive, fueling claims that she couldn't handle standard public criticism. Others believed it proved she was willing to fight back after enduring years of mockery. Melania's fans insisted she had every right to defend her marriage and personal life. They argued she'd never tried to be a reality show star, so the constant gossip felt unfair. The viewpoint was that she was a private figure forced into the spotlight by her husband's powerful role, so she should be able to push back when people cross boundaries. Those less sympathetic questioned whether a huge lawsuit was too extreme. They believed she had other ways to counter The View's commentary, like making a statement or doing an interview to share her side. They said a lawsuit might look like an attempt to muzzle the media or intimidate critics. Some watchers saw it as a reflection of a bigger pattern in the Trump orbit, a flair for legal battles to control narratives. Still, if Melania felt ongoing remarks were personal attacks with no basis, going the legal route might have seemed logical. Public figures seldom sue unless they feel the claims are beyond typical opinion. People who had watched The View from the start of the Trump era had seen repeated references to Melania's emotions and private thoughts, basing them on small public gestures. That built a storyline that painted her as living a double life. If that storyline harmed her brand, a lawsuit could be her way of clearing the record, no matter how complicated it might become in court.